1977. Studio 54 was at its peak. Star Wars hit theaters, and R&B was evolving into something the world had never heard before. Disco was taking over, but soul refused to die. The result? Some of the most unforgettable songs ever recorded. Songs that defined a generation. Songs that still move us today. These aren't just hits. These are cultural moments, love anthems, dance floor classics. Songs that prove 1977 might have been the greatest year in R&B history. This is 10 R&B songs from 1977 we'll never forget. Let's go back. Number 12. The O'Jays, Used to Be My Girl. The O'Jays were already legends by 1977. Love Train and Backstabbers had cemented their place in soul history. But Used to Be My Girl showed they still had more magic to give. This wasn't just another Philadelphia International Records hit. This was heartbreak perfection. Eddie Levert's lead vocals dripped with pain and longing. The harmonies were pristine. And the production by Gamble and Huff? Absolutely immaculate. The song told a story everyone could relate to. Losing someone you love and trying to figure out where it all went wrong. She Used to Be My Girl became an anthem for the brokenhearted. What made it unforgettable was the emotion. You could hear the hurt in every note.
The girl's got plenty good lovin'.
Feel the regret in every harmony. This wasn't performed, it was lived. The song topped the R&B charts and became a staple at Quiet Storm radio stations across the country. DJs knew exactly when to play it. Late night, when people were in their feelings. When they needed a song that understood their pain. The O'Jays proved that after a decade of hits, they could still touch the soul, still make you feel, still remind you why Philly soul was the most sophisticated sound in R&B. Nearly 50 years later, Used to Be My Girl still hits just as hard. The pain is still real, the vocals still incredible, the production still flawless. This is what happens when legends refuse to phone it in. When veterans bring their A-game. When masters show the young ones how it's done.
She used to be my girl.
Number 11. The Floaters. Float On, love it or hate it, you cannot forget Float On. It's impossible. This Detroit group created one of the most unique and polarizing songs of 1977. Each member introduced themselves with their zodiac sign over a smooth floating groove. My name is Charles, and I'm a Cancer. My name is Ralph, and I'm a Scorpio. It was corny. It was brilliant. It was absolutely unforgettable. The production was lush and dreamy. The vocals were smooth and inviting. And the concept? Nobody had ever done anything like it before. Radio stations didn't know what to make of it at first. Was it serious? Was it a joke? Did it matter when it sounded this good? Listeners didn't care about the debate. They loved it. Float On went to number 1 on the R&B charts and number 2 on the pop charts. It became inescapable in the summer of 1977. What made it unforgettable wasn't just the gimmick. It was the sincerity. The Floaters weren't winking at the camera. They genuinely believed in the song, and that earnestness made it work. Sure, people made fun of it, still do, but they also can't stop singing along when it comes on. Float On.
That description, baby. Come with me.
Became a wedding reception staple, a karaoke favorite, a song that brings instant smiles and groans in equal measure. The Floaters became one-hit wonders, but what a hit! In a year full of masterpieces, they created something so distinctive, so weird, so charming. That it earned its place in 1977's Hall of Fame. You might roll your eyes at the zodiac signs, but you know every word, and you'll never forget it. That's the power of Float On. Number 10. The Emotions. Best of My Love. When Morris White of Earth, Wind & Fire produced this track, he knew he had something special. But nobody predicted it would become that big. Best of My Love spent 5 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. 5 weeks. In an era dominated by disco, this song proved that pure soul could still dominate. The Emotions, Wanda, Sheila, and Jeanette Hutchinson delivered harmonies so tight, so perfect, they sounded like one voice in 3 parts. The production was lush, the groove was undeniable, and that chorus? Absolutely infectious. Here's what made it unforgettable. It wasn't trying to be disco, and it wasn't fighting it either. It sat perfectly in between, creating something timeless. Radio couldn't stop playing it. Clubs couldn't ignore it. And 48 years later, it still sounds fresh. Best of My Love proved that sisters could harmonize better than anyone, and that real soul would always find its audience. This wasn't just a hit. It was a masterclass in vocal perfection. Number 9. Brick. Daz. Atlanta's Brick delivered one of the smoothest instrumental grooves of 1977, and it featured something revolutionary, a female playing the flute as the lead instrument. Reggie Hargis on flute turned Daz into something hypnotic. The bass line was deep, the rhythm was tight. And that flute? It danced over everything like silk floating on water. This was jazz-funk fusion at its absolute finest. No lyrics needed, the music told the entire story. Daz became a quiet storm staple, a track DJs played when they wanted to bring the energy down but keep people moving. A song that proved instrumental R&B could be just as powerful as anything with vocals. What makes it unforgettable? It introduced a sound that R&B hadn't fully embraced yet. The jazz influence, the instrumental confidence, the refusal to follow trends. Brick said, "We don't need words to make you feel." And they were absolutely right. Nearly 50 years later, Daz still sounds like the coolest thing in the room. Number 8. Rufus featuring Chaka Khan. At Midnight. My Love Will Lift You Up. By 1977, everyone knew Chaka Khan had one of the most powerful voices in music. But
I bet my neck, I bet you will. I'm gonna check my love for you.
At Midnight showed she could be subtle, sensual, and still completely captivating. This wasn't Chaka screaming. This was Chaka seducing. The production was sophisticated. The arrangement was intricate. And Chaka's delivery, absolutely mesmerizing. She rode the groove like a wave, knowing exactly when to push and when to pull back. At Midnight became the song you played when the party was winding down, but you weren't ready for the night to end. The song that soundtracked slow dances and quiet moments. What made it unforgettable was the restraint. In an era where bigger was usually better, Rufus and Chaka proved that sometimes less is more, or the way she whispers "at midnight" still gives people chills. The way the bass and guitars intertwine still sounds modern. This was grown folks' music, sophisticated, sexy, timeless. And it proved that Chaka Khan didn't need to shout to be the most powerful voice in the room. Number 7. Royce, Wishing on a Star. If you've never heard this song, you've been living wrong. And if you have, you know exactly why it's on this list. Royce,
So far away from me.
fresh off their success with the Car Wash soundtrack, delivered a ballad so beautiful, so pure, it became an instant classic. Gwen Dickey's vocals were vulnerable and hopeful. The production was lush without being overdone. And the melody? It burrows into your soul and never leaves.
Oh, baby, when we're together.
Wishing on a Star wasn't just a song about hope. It was hope. In 1977, during economic struggles and cultural shifts, people needed something to believe in. This song gave them that. What makes it unforgettable is its honesty. No gimmicks, no tricks.
I'm wishing on a star.
Just a woman singing about wishing for something better. And every single person who heard it could relate. The song has been covered by everyone from the cover girls to Jay-Z. But the original? Still untouchable. Royce created a moment of pure beauty in 1977. And that beauty has never faded.
I'm hoping on all the days to come and days to go.
Number 6. L.T.D. Back in Love Again. Also known as Every Time I Turn Around. Back in Love Again, this song featured Jeffrey Osborne's voice in all its glory.
When I look up in, every time I turn around.
The opening is iconic. That guitar riff, those horns. And then Jeffrey comes in, smooth as butter, singing about falling back in love. This was crossover R&B done right. It topped the R&B charts and made serious noise on pop radio.
I guess I just don't ever.
Not by compromising, but by being so good nobody could ignore it. What made Back in Love Again unforgettable was its joy. At a time when a lot of R&B was leaning into disco's party energy or ballads heartbreak, L.T.D. gave us pure happiness. This was the song playing at weddings, at family reunions, at block parties, anywhere people wanted to celebrate love and togetherness. The production was tight, the performance was flawless, and Jeffrey Osborne proved he was destined for solo stardom. Nearly 50 years later, this song still makes people smile, still gets people dancing, still reminds us what it feels like to fall in love all over again. That's timeless. Number 5. Heatwave. Boogie Nights. When that bass line hits, you know exactly what time it is. It's boogie time. Heatwave, an international band led by Johnny Wilder Jr., created the ultimate disco-funk fusion with Boogie Nights. It was sleek, it was sexy, it was impossible not to move to. This song defined 1977's nightlife. From New York to Los Angeles, if a club was hot, Boogie Nights was on the playlist. The production by Barry Blue was immaculate. Every instrument had its place, every element served the groove, and Johnny Wilder's vocals had just enough grit to keep it from being too polished. What makes it unforgettable? It captured a specific moment in time, the height of disco culture, but did it with enough soul to transcend the era. Boogie Nights wasn't just a disco song. It was an R&B song that embraced disco without losing its soul. Radio played it constantly. Dance floors cleared for it. And it introduced the world to a band that would give us even more classics. This is the song that makes you want to throw on your best outfit and hit the town. In 1977 or 2025, some grooves never die. Number 4. The Brothers. Johnson, Strawberry. Letter 23, produced by Quincy Jones. Written by Shuggie Otis. Performed by George and Louis Johnson. This song was destined for greatness. Strawberry. Letter 23 is what happens when musicianship meets imagination. The guitar work is incredible. The bass is funky. The vocals float over everything like a dream. But what makes it truly unforgettable is its vibe. This wasn't a traditional love song, it was psychedelic soul, a letter to a lover wrapped in the funkiest package imaginable. The production was layers upon layers of brilliance. You could listen to this song 100 times and still discover new elements. It topped the R&B charts and became a pop crossover hit. But more importantly, it became a standard. A song that musicians study. A song that fans treasure. Strawberry Letter 23 proved that R&B could be experimental without being inaccessible, weird without being alienating, funky without being one-dimensional. George Johnson's guitar work alone is legendary. Add Lewis's bass, Quincy's production genius, and Shuggy's original vision, and you get something that transcends music. This is art, and 1977 gave us the perfect version. Number 3. Sister Sledge. Nobody Loves Me Like You Do. Wait, Sister Sledge had hits before We Are Family? Absolutely, and this one deserves way more recognition. Nobody Loves Me Like You Do showcased the sisters' harmonies and their ability to deliver emotional depth. This wasn't party music. This was soul music. The production was warm and inviting. The vocals were heartfelt. And the message was universal, finding someone who loves you completely. What made it unforgettable was its sincerity. In an era of glitz and glamour, Sister Sledge delivered something real and honest. The song didn't dominate charts like their later hits, but it established them as serious artists, not just disco acts. Radio stations that played this knew they were giving listeners something special, something to hold on to, something to remember quiet moments by. And Sister Sledge proved they could do it all. And while We Are Family would make them icons, songs like this proved they always had the talent. This is the song true fans know, the one that separates casual listeners from the devoted. And it reminds us that 1977 was full of hidden gems if you knew where to look. Number 2. Marvin Gaye, Got to Give It Up. Marvin Gaye didn't want to make disco. He thought it was beneath him. But when he finally gave in, he created one of the greatest party songs ever recorded. Got to Give It Up was Marvin's reluctant disco masterpiece. And it was perfect. The talk singing, the party atmosphere, the infectious groove, the cowbell. Everything about this song screamed the celebration. Marvin recorded it live in the studio with a party happening around him. You can hear people talking, laughing, celebrating. That wasn't overdubbed. That was the vibe. What makes it unforgettable is that Marvin brought soul to disco. He didn't abandon his artistry, he adapted it. And in doing so, created something neither purely disco nor purely soul, but entirely Marvin. The song topped the charts, dominated dance floors, and proved that even the most reluctant participant could win when they committed. Got to Give It Up influenced everyone from Michael Jackson to Robin Thicke, though that influence caused legal issues decades later. This was Marvin Gaye showing the world he could do anything, and doing it better than almost anyone else. In 1977, this was the party, and we've been dancing to it ever since. Number 1. Stevie Wonder, Sir Duke. When Stevie Wonder wanted to honor the legends who came before him, especially Duke Ellington, he created a song so joyful, so brilliant, it became immortal. Sir Duke is a celebration of music, of life, of the giants whose shoulders we all stand on. The horn arrangement is iconic, the melody is infectious, and Stevie's performance absolutely masterful. But what makes Sir Duke the most unforgettable R&B song of 1977 is its message. Stevie wasn't just making a hit. He was teaching a history lesson wrapped in the funkiest package imaginable. He name-checked Count Basie, Glenn Miller, Louis Armstrong, and Ella Fitzgerald. He reminded the world that music is a continuum, that 1977's R&B existed because of jazz legends who paved the way. The song topped both the R&B and pop charts, and it became one of Stevie's signature tracks. And nearly 50 years later, it still sounds as fresh as the day it was released. Sir Duke represents everything great about 1977. The musicianship, the respect for history, the pure joy of creating something beautiful. When you hear those horns, you smile. You can't help it. That's the power of Stevie Wonder. That's the power of the greatest R&B song of 1977. From the OJ's Heartbreak to the Floaters' Zodiac Groove, from Best of My Love to Sir Duke, 1977 gave us songs that still move us, still inspire us, still remind us why we fell in love with R&B in the first place. These aren't just oldies, these are timeless classics. Songs our parents danced to, songs we discovered, songs our kids will inherit. 1977 was magic, and these 12 songs prove it. Thanks for taking this journey back with us. If you loved remembering these classics, hit that subscribe button. Up next, we're diving into the smoothest slow jams of 1978. Keep the soul alive.